Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Another pre-trial hearing in the history books. Another public display of embarrassment for the SEC. Wow, wow, wow. Did you guys hear this? There's a maximum of 4,000 humans that could call into this this teleconference, if you will, this pre-trial hearing that's done telephonically, and it was maxed out. I'll share with you the specifics, but I gotta tell you, if I'm the SEC and I know that those 4,000 people don't really care for my existence, perhaps I'm not too thrilled. And there's some kind of hints that this SEC attorney who was speaking perhaps was a little perturbed, if you will. And so I'm going to run through some of the specifics of what's going down here, what to expect as a result of this. There's a lot to talk about. And by the way, I've got opinions from probably 4 or 5 attorneys in this video. Some opinions from before the pretrial hearing, some from after, including one take that says, hey, look, and I'll provide full context for this comments because I never want to take anybody out of context, of course, but there's one attorney who said before this pretrial hearing, it very well may be the case that the SEC is just going to want to settle as things unfold. But before we go any further, I do want to be clear that I don't have any legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just a simple little moon Lambo making YouTube videos all up on the internet. It's a fun hobby, that's it. Talking about Ripple and XRP and crypto, but that is all that's going on here. So just as a quick, setting the table type of thing, and I'll be brief on this, I wanted to run through this article, which is really, it gets to the core of what was discussed today. But this is from Forecast News. Ripple accuses SEC of intimidation tactic in seeking XRP info overseas. And again, this is April 19th this year. Heating up their battle over discovery, Ripple Labs, its CEO Brad Garlinghouse and executive chairman Chris Larsen are asking a judge to stop the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission from asking foreign regulators to obtain information on Ripple and XRP on the SEC's behalf. Oh, by the way, can I tease this a little bit? In this video, there's another instance of the SEC being completely shady, misleading the courts. They're just deceptive little rat bastards, frankly. They're just liars. They just straight up are. I can't wait to share that with you. Just stick with me in the video because I've been ever since I was mapping out this video a little bit earlier today, I was looking forward to sharing that with you. But anyway, according to a joint letter to U.S. Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn filed on April 16th, the lawyers representing defendants Ripple, Garlinghouse, and Larsen said the SEC was pursuing discovery quote, outside the scope of the federal rules and the Hague Convention by improperly leveraging memoranda of understanding with foreign regulators who then, at the SEC's request, serve burdensome document requests on entities under the foreign regulator's jurisdiction, end quote. So memoranda of understanding, that's MOU for short. And so basically, in a nutshell, it's the United States government taking advantage of a tactic that you would never have this type of leverage or opportunity if you're not part of the United States federal government, and it's outside of the rules of the courts to do this. So even if there aren't laws being broken, and there's no indication that there are that I've seen anyway, this still is not proper practice, and I'm willing to bet that stuff like this will piss off the judges that are looking over this. Anyway. The MOU process involves a foreign securities regulator in the discovery process, which has a significant impact on the recipient of the requests, including Ripple's overseas business partners, and amounts to an unwarranted intimidation tactic, the lawyers wrote. And so you can think about this, all of this information being requested from Ripple's business partners overseas. And mind you, in a lot of these jurisdictions overseas, there's already legal clarity that XRP is not a security. And still, some of these business partners in these jurisdictions are being hounded by their governments to share all documents or whatever documents are requested having to do with the business interactions between them and Ripple. And the government overseeing them in that jurisdiction, even if it's an XRP-friendly jurisdiction, because of the way that things are set up with the government, the agencies that are making this happen, the individual agencies can't actually say, no, we're not going to do this. Their hands are tied. They have to actually go ahead and do what the United States government said. That's what I've read, which sounds intense, but that's the way this is unfolding. And so it really does just look like an intimidation tactic more so than anything else. And so anyway, MOUs are formal agreements between two or more parties. In this case, the U.S. and foreign regulators have MOUs to facilitate the sharing of information. Such MOUs typically allow the regulator in one country to make a request to another agency in the foreign jurisdiction to collect information on its behalf and share the information with the requesting agency. So there you go. That's exactly what's been going down here. And so it is an end run against the court system, I would certainly argue here. Now, here's attorney Jesse Hines, who shared some of his insights. And this was today, but it was before the trial. So it was this morning. And mind you, as I record this, it's, what time is it? 5:41 p.m. Central Standard Time in the good old United States on Friday, April 30th. And so here's what he wrote. This is at 7:06 a.m. today. Today's hearing in the SEC versus Ripple case is another battle in what could be a long war. My understanding is the hearing is concerning what Ripple et al. Alleged to be improper foreign discovery. This could go either way. What won't happen? The case will not be decided at hearing. Yes, settlement is still possible, but it definitely won't happen at the hearing. It will be interesting to see if the SEC keeps losing the little battles, or if this will be their first win in the case. At the end of the day, this hearing is just a blip on the radar. As an FYI, my hopes for a speedy settlement go down slightly each filing because there appears to be some real animosity. With that said, if Ripple keeps winning the little battles, you may see the SEC give in at some point. Yeah, so eventually, as more and more progresses, the case could become that much harder for the SEC to litigate. And really, this is why you keep seeing attorneys like, and Jesse Hines may have said this too, I can't recall, but certainly attorney Jeremy Hogan had stated that, look, there's a reason that you're not likely to see a settlement before the discovery process is complete. It's because you want to know what ammo both sides are working with effectively. And so if there are some truly major skeletons in the SEC's closet that come out, yeah, maybe you could see a settlement before that. But otherwise, yeah, you probably would be waiting until after the discovery process is complete, which is going to be a few months from now. But I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that in the lease here. I would, if I were a lawyer, I would much rather be arguing on behalf of Ripple than the SEC. Believe that. That's for damn sure. Here is a tweet from Jeremy Hogan. This one was from before the pre-trial hearing also. So it was yesterday evening, and he simply wrote the following. And you got to love this, too. Because, look, there was James Filan, that he's an attorney also, and so yesterday he tweeted a document and had to do with the exact topic that we're talking about right now, about the SEC skirting the system, just running around using their tremendous advantage as an agency of the United States federal government to help them in this case, which is pretty gross in my opinion anyway. So anyway, James Filan shared a document, which I'm not going to read through this video, it would just make this video too long. It's not necessary to get the points across. So Attorney Jeremy Hogan read that, retweeted it, and then wrote the following. You've got to admire the SEC's audacity. Yes, we are using MOUs, which are outside the rules of civil procedure, so what? Let's see tomorrow what Judge Netburn carries under her robe, a big stick or a feather duster. And then there was this from Jeremy Hogan. You gotta love this. Today's the day. Let's get 4,000 people on this hearing. This is just a discovery hearing, but the point is to let the court know this case is important and people are paying attention. Do not call any other number but the one below. And then he cited it, which is important. You have to abide by the rules of the court. There are all sorts of people that were doing things that they shouldn't have done, and maybe they didn't know that they should have, and I think they've kind of gotten a free pass up until the point where a more formal warning was declared by the judge. But there were people just like streaming the call and recording it and then posting it on social media, stuff like that. Yeah, don't do that. You can face criminal charges. So don't do that. All right. But I'm going to share with you more on the 4,000 callers in just a second. But let me run through this real quick. Some highlights from the latest conference with the SEC. Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn ruled on whether or not to allow Ripple will be allowed to send memorandum of understanding requests to foreign regulators to obtain information from the company's partners and overseas exchanges. After taking everything into consideration, the judge will announce her verdict in the coming days. So yeah, probably next week is what Jeremy Hogan ended up saying in one of his tweets from today. But Jorge Tenreiro, that's the SEC attorney, claimed that the MOU process was not compulsory, adding that the flow of securities and money does not stop at a country's borders. And here's a quote. Essentially, what they are asking is to exempt only the United States and the SEC from the multilateral process, as the court, the flow of securities and money doesn't stop at a country's borders. One of the most important tools in our arsenal is strong cooperation with our counterparts. It's so funny. Still arguing with, so think about this. Arguing that they should be able to do what the court says they're not allowed to do. You gotta appreciate the audacity, just like Jeremy Hogan said, right? It's like, well, here's the rules. Yeah, but here's why we think we should be able to do it anyway. Okay, thanks, you asshats. Holy hell, man. The gall of these people. Anyway, the SEC also does not intend to disclose the content of its MOU request, given that this information is privileged. Oh, that's right. You get that privileged information. As reported by you today, the agency is seeking to obtain information from 14 foreign exchanges to determine whether or not Ripple's announcement influenced the price of the XRP token. It is also going after 5 Ripple partners that utilize the company's on-demand liquidity solution, which prompted the accusation of intimidation from the defendants. Now, you gotta wonder, why are they going after Ripple's partners utilizing on-demand liquidity when the SEC says that XRP doesn't even offer any utility? Like, why would this even matter? It's not doing anything. There should be nothing to see here, right? And then there's the idea of unfair advantage. Ripple claimed that the SEC was attempting to gain unfair advantage of the defendants, adding that the agency does not have special discovery powers. And here's a quote. That doesn't sound like a voluntary request at all. Yeah, no kidding, it's not. And as I was citing earlier in this video, if you're a company overseas and an agency from your government overseas says you must provide this so-and-so information, you must do it. And the agency, being part of their government, they, as what I've read anyway, they have no power to get something, get a request like this from the SEC and then turn it down. That's part of the agreement that governments on both sides set up. Is that no, if there's a request, you enforce it. That's it. So anyway, the company's defense added that the MOU process is compulsory, accusing the regulator of leveraging the weight and power of the U.S. government. Attorney Michael Kellogg says the SEC is engaging in discovery in secret to get the data that it thinks will support its arguments while skirting rules. Ripple insists that the SEC's foreign discovery is outside of foreign court rules. And here's a quote. What the SEC is doing is totally outside federal court rules. We did not find out about this until an outside party told us the SEC was trying to get information from them. Had they known about this, they could have followed rules from the court. Well, how about that? Here, now check this out. This is just another instance of where things get even more gross because the SEC is disgusting the way they're behaving in this case. Here's another attorney, XRP attorney Seal on Twitter, shared the following. And this was after the pretrial here, right? Yeah, this must have been just right after it. Yeah. So anyway, Ripple lawyers just pointed out that the SEC hid their actions from Ripple, hid it from foreign regulators, and most egregiously hid their actions from this court. #boom. Think about that. They're acting incredibly shady. And he added, though, check this out, more shadiness. The SEC made 50 separate requests to 30 different entities, including 14 exchanges in 9 different countries, and intentionally used the file number from their original investigation to avoid disclosing that any info obtained was for an ongoing court proceeding. Is that not outrageous? Oh my gosh. This is why I go back to 2. Like, if you care about what the judge thinks about you, and look, we'd like to think that these judges are going to be impartial. Maybe they will be. I mean, you always hope for that, of course, no matter what. But I'm just saying, if I'm the SEC, I know that humans are humans. And sometimes, given that humans are humans, something could seep through that isn't based in what is necessarily, I don't know, logic-based. I mean, do you guys get what I'm getting at here? I think so. And this is not to call into question these judges specifically. I'm just saying in general. Because, look, I'm not claiming that they would behave in such a way. I'm just saying if I were the SEC, just in case, I would not want to piss them off. And then even outside of that, what about ethics? Like, what about just being ethical? in pursuing this case against Ripple. But they've shown that they don't care. I think they know they have a weak case, which is why they're grasping at straws here. They've got so many hypocritical stances, illogical thought processes, and it's just the facts are not on their side. They really are not. It's impressive how ridiculous they are. Here's a tweet from attorney John Deaton. I was half listening in on the call because I'm in the middle of a deposition in my real job, but I definitely heard the SEC attorney say the following. They, talking about Ripple, believe this case has harmed XRP holders. The SEC didn't say that the SEC believes that. Thanks for that. Indeed, thank you for that, SEC. I'll tell you what, you're really looking out for the investors. You gotta love this stuff, right? All right, and then here's a tweet from somebody named Acquidity Capital that I came across, who stated, the lawsuit strikes me as being more personal and more about power, or loss thereof, more than anything, in my opinion. This is not theater. Yeah, so let me pause there. I've seen some people in the XRP community state that everything's like a show or this is all theater. Nothing against anybody that says stuff like that. There are plenty of people in the community that say that. I don't think so. I just don't believe that. I think that there are entities and people with their own interests behaving in ways that would benefit them or their agencies. And it's not that it's theater in the sense that, well, it depends on what you mean by that. If you mean it in the sense that this is all sort of planned and it's just some sort of show and trickery and all this or that. No, this is a real case. Like, this is really going down and there are real sides battling. It's not just straight up theater. Now, you could view it as entertaining theater if you want, but no, it depends. So that's why I said it depends on what you mean by that. But I think a lot of people mean like, oh, it's just all scripted, it's all planned. And I'm just sitting here thinking, no, that sounds like tinfoil hat nonsense, frankly. But anyway, Acquidity Capital also then wrote, incumbents are pissed and they are seeking revenge for revenge's sake. It's one of the last gasps of a dying system, and there will be more. Attorney John Deaton responded with the following. The best prosecutors do not fall into the competitive ego trap. They seek justice only. Of course, prosecutors are human, and they lose sight of their mission and want to win against their opponent. The best prosecutors don't worry about wins and losses. They worry about justice. Exactly. And so and this is another perfectly reasonable acknowledgement of everybody in this case here, whatever role they're playing, they're all human. And so you'd like to think that they all behave perfectly. It's all about the facts and justice. With the SEC, I think it's clear that it's not about that. Just look at the way that they're behaving. That's crystal clear. And so we can theorize about the motives. I mean, outside of it being a money grab and or a power grab, I don't even know. But humans are just being humans, which is why I made the comment I made about the judge. It wasn't to call their character or ability into question. It's just in a general sense, like I got 37 years under my belt on this planet. I'm just saying, I wouldn't take that type of chance. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then there was this from attorney Jeremy Hogan. Congratulations, XRP people. By the start of the hearing today, the telephone system maxed out at 4,000 listeners. The court is very aware of the high interest in the case. That's a quote from Judge Netburn. Mission accomplished. And so, mind you, initially the phone system had a max of 500. And so they upgraded the phone system. I don't know what's entailed in that. Maxed it out at 4,000. That still wasn't enough. So I think that the people get it that the SEC... they dumb messed up here, and the judge is clearly going to see this, and they're going to be curious as to why. Don't you think? I certainly think so. And it was interesting also that you couldn't call in until about 10 minutes prior to the pretrial hearing beginning. So you had 10 minutes before. That's the first time you could dial in. Jeremy Hogan said about the time that the pretrial hearing started, so 10 minutes later, the 4,000 number, it was maxed out. 4,000 people inside of roughly 10 minutes called. And there were other people that tried that just couldn't get in. I've seen enough on social media to know that. And he was asked also, when are we going to get any sort of decision on what's going on here? Jeremy Hogan says next week. So hopefully we get another little win for Ripple in terms of what's happening here and the SEC's disgusting behavior with the MOUs, but I'm not sure. And so I tweeted out the following just a couple hours or so ago. I wrote this. Imagine being the SEC attorney speaking today at the hearing with Ripple, knowing that the XRP holders you claim to protect are all against you and repulsed by your actions. Knowing there are 4,000 of them on the maxed out phone line simply disgusted with you. That's how I feel. I'm sitting there thinking, I would not want to be that attorney. I really, seriously, super duper would not want to be. And then last thing for this video, and I just found this endlessly fun to chuckle at and think about here. It's Jeremy Hogan's tweet about where he said, "Congratulations, XRP people," and he was talking about how the 4,000 number was maxed out here. That was retweeted by somebody named Kyle, who clearly is not a fan of Ripple and XRP. And I came across this because ultimately XRP community member Frecky tagged me along with some others in this. So thank you very much, Frecky, for bringing this to my attention. But here's what Kyle said in retweeting that from Jeremy. He wrote, "See, Ripple," he's saying this sarcastically, "Ripple has nothing to do with XRP." So the point he's making there is, wait, this is a case of the SEC versus Ripple. And he's saying, of course, Ripple has everything to do with XRP. Look at all these XRP holders that are calling in this and that. And then he said the following: "The court had to increase capacity for the Ripple versus SEC case because XRP holders definitely aren't expecting returns based on the operations of Ripple's common enterprise." Yeah. Their business is selling unregistered securities. So that to me is an incredibly unsophisticated way of looking at what's actually happening here. Think about this. Because there are all sorts of factors playing into the XRP ecosystem. There are tons of developers building on top of the XRP ledger. And that's one of the things that's so appealing to me. Whereas if you purchase a stock, you know that it's tied to one company. If you purchase a cryptocurrency, it's a broader ecosystem, and there's like an endless number of developers building on top of the XRP ledger. So it's the whole thing. Even if Ripple's the most famous and notable one, fine, happy to cede that point. That doesn't change anything, though. And so think about this. Clearly, XRP itself is not a security. It is separate from Ripple. The company it is decentralized. Ripple has no special powers over it. There's no contract underlying it. There's no promise of profits. There's none of this stuff here. And so, to think that because all these XRP holders called in, that's some sort of indication that XRP is a security, that doesn't strike me as like either intellectually honest necessarily, or considering all of the facts here, because. I mean, think about this. So again, what he wrote here: the court had to increase capacity for Ripple versus SEC case because XRP holders definitely aren't expecting returns based on the operations of Ripple's common enterprise. Here's the thing: there are people that have separate interests, and they were minding their own business. What the SEC did is they tied XRP to Ripple. They tied it. And I'm not saying that there wasn't any sort of use. Of course, there's overlap across a broad ecosystem, as I just cited. But the SEC is what is tied. So that's what scared the market. That's the reason the price dropped. You could say, because you could say, too, the price of XRP in December, it tied as proof that what happens with Ripple impacts price of XRP. And there you go. There's another piece of evidence that it's a security. And I'm saying, no. It was XRP price, in fact, was acting just in line with the rest of the market following Bitcoin. It wasn't until the SEC made that claim that the price of XRP and market participants reacted to that. And so what you see here is also XRP holders reacting because of what the SEC did. This in and of itself is not some sort of piece of evidence that, or anecdotal or otherwise, that XRP in and of itself is a security. It just isn't. So Kyle's wrong. And also, I might make a separate video about this over the weekend, but Kyle here, he ended up debating a Ripple employee about XRP centralization, this, that, and it got really interesting. So I got some stuff to say on that. I'm probably going to make a video about that at some point over the weekend, but this guy does not know what he's talking about. Nothing against him personally. He has no clue what he's talking about. Very clear. So I don't know if it's a lack of knowledge as in he's the definition of ignorant, or if he just is ideologically driven, doesn't want what is true to be true. I don't know. Either way, he's wrong. It's bad either way. I'll wrap up there, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.